Scorpios, and welcome to your horoscope for the month of June. Before we jump into this, I just want to remind you that these horoscopes are based off of your sun sign only, so if you're ever looking for a more specific forecast based on your own personal birth chart, definitely check out my website, astrologygrace.com, and I also offer other kinds of readings there as well, so if you're interested, check it out. Let's do a quick rundown of what the inner planets are looking like for you this month. The sun is going to start off in your 8th house and move to your 9th house on the 21st. Mercury, it's going to start in your 8th house, move to your 9th on the 13th, and at the end of the month on the 29th it'll move to your 10th house. Venus is going to start the month in your 9th house, and then on the 14th it'll move into your 10th house, and Mars is going to be in your 4th house for the entire month of June. Now, as far as the outer planets go, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, and Pluto all in retrograde, and they're going to stay that way for the next several months at least. And there's nothing, very significant going on with that in the month of June. We just had Uranus transition from Aries to Taurus in May, so right now we're just going to focus mostly on the inner planets because that's where all the action is. I've been saying this in all my horoscope videos, but just keep in mind that, these horoscopes are meant for anybody, any age, and if I'm talking about work, that also refers to being a student in school, to being involved in an organization, to being a parent, working from home, even if you're retired and you're a grandparent, of course that refers to you as well. It's just anything that you are putting effort into, you're putting your work into. It could be a personal goal, a group goal, a traditional 9-to-5 job, but it doesn't, don't think that that's the only thing I'm referring to. For Scorpio, you guys, your sun is going to start, like we said, in the 8th house. So there's going to be a big focus on like money matters and joining your resources, maybe with a partner or maybe a roommate or a friend, a parent. It's a really good time for like a loan, so any big purchases, this is a good time for it, like a car or even a house, a boat. You're just gonna have like a lot of transformation going on during this time, a lot of change. There could be stuff to do with your sexuality going on during this time, and you're gonna feel like you're having personal growth and maybe like a change, like I said, a transformation within yourself. That's a lot of what the 8th house has to do with, and having your sun there, sun is about yourself, so there's going to be some growth in your own personal life. You might not have the most social month for the month of June, at least not the first half of it, because you're going to take a step back and really focus on your inner self and changes that you are making within your, personal life, and you might also be focused on any intimate relations that you have with, like, a romantic partner, a best friend, a family member, anything along those lines. But you're definitely going to retreat from, like, a more social life during this time. You're not going to be like a total recluse, but you're not going to be as social as maybe some other months of the year, looking to go out with groups of people or anything along those lines. Anything that's like very personal to you or personal to you on a deeper level is definitely going to be emphasized during this time. Any intimate matters that you're dealing with just with yourself or with like people that you're close to are definitely going to come into focus. During the first half of June and the last half of May, you're gonna want, like I said, a change or like a cleanse on a deeper level of your life. You might just be clearing out like the junk, so to speak, like bad habits or anything that's been bogging you down mentally. You might be working on some issues. Maybe this is a time that you've started some therapy to really get down to the nitty-gritty of anything that might have been bothering you over the past year. And if you haven't, this is definitely a really good time to focus in on things along those lines. You're definitely more willing to dive down deep, explore secrets of your own or secrets of others. You'd be a little bit more of like a detective during this time. Overall, you're just gonna have a greater understanding of yourself, or anybody that you're intimate with during this time. The sun will move into your 9th house, like we talked about earlier, around the 21st, and you're definitely gonna start to expand your horizons during this time. You're going to really have a focus on wanting to learn, wanting to expand your knowledge, maybe through reading, through travel. This is a great time for travel, through talking to other people, maybe even former like classmates that you've had or teachers or old co-workers. It's definitely going to be time for learning and growing, through intellect and growing your intelligent part of your mind and your life experiences. You're definitely your focus has been inward, and it's gonna switch and turn outward during this time. You're gonna want to maybe take a vacation, be more social, but you're gonna have like this need or want for like something a little bit more exotic, like maybe you want to travel, or maybe you just want to hang around new and different people, or just read a different subject or explore a different subject that you've never really looked into before. This is gonna be a time when you're gonna be very into like having new experiences for yourself. The only thing is, like, during, you know, the second or end half of the month. Just be careful, like, while you're broadening your horizons, not to lose focus on things that are going on in your daily life, like any jobs, or if you're in school, like we talked about, any personal goals. Don't totally throw them to the side and neglect them, because that's definitely something that can happen during this time, and you might even neglect like important things. Explore and do what you need to do, but make sure to focus on things that are important as well and not just let them go. Mercury is going to start off in your 8th house as well, you know, so that Mercury and your Sun will be in your 8th house together, you know, at least until the 13th. So again, we talked about this is a great time for a loan on anything, any big purchases. During this time, you're going to be more intuitive, which is a really great pairing with getting to know yourself better. You know, you'll be able to read people better, which includes yourself, and you can kind of like read between the lines. It's just a really great time to do any financial planning that you've been meaning to do. I know that's kind of boring, but this is a great time for it. You really have the focus and the motivation to do stuff along those lines. Any like issues that have been going on, or they don't necessarily have to be issues, but topics of your interest or concern that are intimate or kind of like taboo or secretive, or stuff that you don't usually, you know, that's uncomfortable to talk about, you'll feel much more comfortable addressing those and approaching those topics during this time as well. And it's a really great time to just be open-minded when it comes to conversations, because a lot can come out that is important. As Mercury transfers into your 9th house around the 13th, you're gonna again want to expand your knowledge. You're just gonna have like bigger visions for yourself and see the world as like a really expansive place. You might be feeling more philosophical during this time. You're just gonna be thinking about the big picture a lot. Now Venus is gonna start the month in your 9th house, which Venus has a lot to do with travel. You might take a romantic trip. We talked about earlier how you might focus on like intimate things during this time, you know, with yourself, but as well as people you're very close to. So if you are in a relationship or you have one that's kind of budding and forming, this is a really great time to maybe take a little trip or have like a, you know, mini vacation for a day, a little road trip, like a date night if you're in a relationship, just to kind of like work on intimate stuff and get to a deeper level with somebody. And you can expand your knowledge, you know, through doing that. You might be attracted to somebody that is different than what you typically go for if you're single, or maybe you like are spicing things up in your love life if you're taken. You know, trying new things would be great during this time to get to really know each other and understand each other on a deeper level. And it's also great if you're single and you might be like totally open to people you wouldn't normally be open to during this time, or you might meet somebody and be attracted to them and it kind of surprises you. You yourself are going to definitely have more charm during this time and people are going to be drawn to you. You know, your taste for the exotic or like the foreign, you know, something new to you is definitely just going to show up in like all areas of your life during this time. Venus, as it moves into your 10th house, which is like your career house, you know, do your best to shine as much as possible, but we talked about, you know, not ignoring important details, so make sure you don't, because this could be a really good time for like a promotion, a raise, you know, a step in a better direction in your job life or anything that you are trying to achieve goal-wise. If you're looking for a new job, this is a time that would be good to find one. If you're looking for love, you know, this time, the second half of the month, you might find love like in your workplace, or maybe, you know, you're trying to have a goal to get better at yoga. Maybe you meet somebody there or somebody in class. You're again gonna have like more charm to you. You'll be friendlier. You can be more affectionate. Mars is gonna be in your 4th house, we talked about, for the entire month of June. You might have work around your house that you've been working on, like fixing things, updating stuff around your house, and you're gonna have energy that's gonna complement like what you're trying to achieve, which is great. You'll have energy for like domestic projects, and you'll be exploring yourself during this time as well and really getting down to a deeper level. So it is a good time to kind of like work on the environment that surrounds you, because that's important to your well-being just as much as, you know, your physical health and your mental health are. You know, you're gonna really work at making yourself feel secure during this time. It's gonna be really important to you, and you might like be either not like forced, but it might become your responsibility to kind of take charge in your family, or, you know, the family you've established for yourself, even if it's not like your official blood related relatives. But you might somehow come into like a leadership role, or you might have to, you might want to, it might just kind of happen naturally. You might be feeling a little restless during this time, or especially moody, or maybe a bit defensive. And, you know, like we talked about, you really want to take a step back and have some time to yourself, and maybe with this role in your family, or, you know, people that you're close to, you might feel like you're not able to do this as much as you want to, and it might just irritate you a bit. You might have arguments with your family during this time, so just the more you're open and patient, the better that will go, you know, to not get to any too big of a conflict. And when Mars is in your 4th, you can get worked up about old things that may have made you angry in the past, or any emotional issues from your past that you haven't fully worked through. They're going to resurface during this time, so just be aware of that. And like I said earlier, this would be a great month to kind of like do some therapy or journaling, or, you know, anything that really helps you deal with your emotions in a positive way as much as possible. The second half of the month, from the 14th to the 27th, Venus is going to be opposite Mars. So, you know, you might be trying to be like friendly, maybe because you've been a little angry and you just kind of like can't, it's just like not working for you. If you're single and you're trying to satisfy like some romantic feelings that you're having, it just feels like you're like just missing like the points, or like you just can't like say the right thing. You're gonna want romance, but you are just having misunderstandings in that department, or like miscommunication, so it's just something to be aware of. I mean, overall, it looks like a really great month for some transformation and some personal growth. So that is your horoscope for the month of June. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in next month's July horoscopes. And yeah, have a good day or night.